Welcome back to Polite as Fuck. It's a great day, everyone.
It's a great day. We're in a good mood today. I like it.
I know. I feel like I got so much sleep. We figured out the mic situation. We figured out Zoom. We're going to be able to record remote now.
Yeah. And have guests that aren't living in San Diego.
San Diego. I feel silly. Like in a silly mood.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, also my debit card's in my pants. I'm gonna just so I remember. Because
you just jumped it across the room.
Because
bye.
I've washed my pants with things in them every single time I do a load.
Little Rue is gonna scoop it up.
Little Rue is the name of our Roomba.
Yeah, my aunt's Roomba is named Reggie, and so when I first moved in with Erica, I was like, "Oh, you have a Reggie," and she was like, "I have a what?" I was like, "A little Reggie."
A little Rue.
Little Roomba.
I'm really excited for this episode because a week from when this comes out is the first official day of summer.
Oh my gosh,
I was looking on the calendar.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
June 21st.
Don't know, a week from Wednesday.
I think it's the 21st of June. Yeah, well, I just wanted to start off by talking about something that my therapist and I have been talking about, which I think is, I don't know, with summer rolling around the corner, it just has brought up a lot of stuff. And so recently, we've been talking about how, and we've talked about this before, especially just like you and I privately, about how sometimes I live in the past. Mm-hmm. And I think recently I've spend what did I say? Like almost 80% of my time in the past. And what I mean by that is like, oh, if I, got a different degree in this, my life would be so much different. Or if I did this instead of this, my life would be so much different. Or if I took that opportunity or didn't take that opportunity, I wouldn't be where I am today. I should have just done that. So I spend so much time envisioning what my life would look like if I took different routes in life. Mm-hmm. And so, I never thought of that as a bad thing. I literally thought everybody does that. And so when we were talking about it, she was just like, you're spending so much time on the past that it's now stopping me from making decisions. Now I'm getting anxiety when I have to make a decision because I'm I've made all of these wrong decisions and I don't like where I am. And so recently she's given me homework, and the homework was to write down. Well, first she was like, what do you feel like you've done right in your life? And of course, when you're in therapy and in a moment, I'm I've done nothing right. Everything's wrong. And then she shifted and she was like, well, what do you feel like you've accomplished? And I really liked that word because regardless of how upset I am on the path that I've taken or whatever it is, whether I'm throwing myself a pity party in the moment, I've still accomplished things, even if I'm well, I got a degree, but, or I swam for this long, but she was well, just stop. Don't, literally write down all of the things that you feel like you've accomplished, but just make a list. Don't be I got my degree in social work, but in reality, it's really blah, 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 blah. She's stop when you say but, because you're just filling yourself up with all of this doubt and negativity and living in the past. Or if you just literally look at a list of all of the things that you've accomplished. And so I've been thinking about it a lot recently, about the things that I have accomplished, because I feel I've done stuff, regardless, yeah. I've done things. And it's just really been I don't know, enlightening to see the things that you and I have been working on this winter, just in our own, whether it's together with the podcast, but more specifically with our mental health. I feel it's been a mental health winter of just hunker down, focus, ride the wave of these emotions and grow. Mm-hmm. And just spending some time reflecting on last summer and the choices that we made last summer. And just thinking okay, well, with summer right around the corner, what are our goals? What do we want to accomplish? How do we want to enter summer? And I think the main thing after seeing this list of accomplishments, not just in my life, but the accomplishments and the work that I've been putting in with myself this past few months, I don't want to fuck it all off over summer. So like, how do I have like a fun summer doing all the things that I want to do, but still like keeping towards like these goals and not feeling like, because what I don't want to happen and what I think like, I love what, like last summer was fucking awesome.
It was insane.
I do think some of the choices I made, just like being so willy-nilly, nilly with those willies, if you know what I mean. Swallow.
What?
I like that.
That was
good.
hilarious.
I just, like, that kind of energy, I think made it really difficult for me to, like, have an enjoyable winter as well. I felt like I really had to digest and really work through some of the decisions I've made.
Yeah.
And so, like, I want to have a fun summer. I want to be willy-nilly and all of these things, but I just want to focus and hone in. It's like, I've worked so hard. I don't want to, like, step into this, like, you know, go back by, like, losing myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
can we start with what are the things that you've accomplished?
Well, I haven't, God, it's just like, it's hard. It's really hard for me because I think I do want to be like, but, like it, to see a list
When
and
you
like
say
toot
the
my
but,
own.
it like negates the accomplishment.
Exactly. And I know that, but I feel like I have to, for some reason, explain myself instead of just owning up that I did something, like I completed this thing or I finished or I whatever. I have to be like, it's not that exciting. It's not that great. Like I have to take myself on the, like off, like down a little bit. I don't know why. Like I can't just like own it.
Well,
But
you
I
don't
think,
have to do that here.
No, I don't. I think the first one, just because I've said it so much, but like I got my degree in social work and in regardless of the buts, like I did it. I worked hard. I did my 440 hours of interning and I did all of these things and like I'm very proud of myself for that. I won like the best senior social work award or whatever for like
That's
the social work
amazing.
club. So I'm like, there are things that I've accomplished in school that I'm very proud of. Swam, moved to San Diego, moved to Australia, lived on a farm, am great mom to, well, debatable, but
You are.
an okay dog mom. Started a podcast, moved in with you.
A lot of big things.
A lot of big things. But it's like,
Nope.
yep. It is difficult because that's where I want to go to is to say the but. I feel like I have to explain myself where I just need to be, like that's what I've been working hard to is just be like, no, I did it.
Period.
Yeah.
End of sentence.
End of sentence. Also, it's a little like, it's almost harder here with you because I feel like you and I, obviously, like you're my best friend, so I feel like I can have a conversation. But how I want to show up to the world is not, oh, I did all these things, but I also like did this and I messed up on this. Like I want to show up being like, no, I did that.
Confident.
With that period, end all, be all, like
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Shifting that into summer and how to keep that energy, I just like wanted to talk about it. And also like I think that's why we feel so silly is because like summer's right around. I told you this last night, a little bit of a side tangent, but like I miss like silly summer Ellie and she is like right around the corner, guys. I feel her. She's coming out of her cave. She's shedding up.
Shimmying out.
Yeah, shimmying out. She'll be here shortly.
She'll be here shortly.
Shortly.
She shall see shells by the seashore.
Yeah.
No, I love summertime and I love what it brings, but I do think it's good to think about like how far you've come and all the things that you've done so that you don't get to the end of summer. And not that I regret anything from last summer, but I don't know that I necessarily want that summer again.
Yeah.
Like that was so fun. We just moved in together. I feel like I was like fresh out of a breakup, so I was just like whatever. Like, and I do think my personality is pretty impulsive. Like I do things on impulse a lot of
Me
the
too.
time,
Yeah.
which can be good. I think there's just more of like that checking in with yourself and like, is this actually something that is gonna make me happy in the long run?
Yeah.
You know?
And I think when I think of summer, what stresses me out is like fitting in a box. Like it brings out all of these insecurities. And so that's where I think like listing out these accomplishments has helped me be a little bit more secure in the person that I am, because I can sit here and nitpick everything from every decision I've made in the past to like my emotional instability to my appearance, how I look, and like compare and just like really dig myself a hole. And it's a little like easier in the winter because like, yeah, I was feeling all these things, but I was like working through it. And now like summer's out, like I don't want to think about those things, but I have to like practice because like for instance, like we have like vacations lined up, and like right now, like it's not my priority to be like, I have stuff, my life is still going on. So like my dedication to make sure that I am like working out for 2 hours a day to have this type of body while I'm on vacation is not like a priority for me. Or to like make sure I'm waxed from tippy top to tippy bottom. Like it's just not a priority. Having like last summer I had nails on all the time. Like that's just not a priority.
Yeah.
And I'm okay. I'm secure in that, but I'm also secure in that like right now. And so I want to make sure that I like carry this energy into summer, because I don't want to be like looking around and lose this like beautiful summer in San Diego and everywhere else that we're going to be going by like, oh, I didn't get my nails done. My hair doesn't look like that. My body doesn't look like that. They are in a cute relationship and I'm single. Like I don't want to do that because I've been working so hard to be like where I am now. Yeah. So I'm like, that is where I'm at.
We're going to have an unbothered.
It is a motherfucking unbothered summer.
No, I'm glad you said that. I was listening to... we're original, but the conversation of summer and podcast is not unoriginal?
Yeah.
Is not original?
Yeah.
What am I trying to say?
Like,
there are other episodes out right now around summer.
Yeah.
And so I was listening to one prior to this just to like see what other people are saying. And honestly, I was getting overwhelmed listening to it because it was more of like, I want to have all these cute clothes. I want to do my hair every day. I want to. And I was like, honestly, I want to do less.
Same.
Like, I want to be, maybe I'll describe my summer as like a minimalist summer.
Love
like,
it.
Traveling just recently, you remember like how little you actually need to be like, to have a good time. Like, how little you need materialistically. And I'm like, come home to my closet. And I just did a clean out and I'm like, I want to get rid of more. Like, I want more out of here. I honestly want like, I feel like I've had a body image journey this last year. And I've been wearing a lot of like oversized t-shirts and like bigger clothes. And when summer comes around, like I love a cute outfit, but I don't want to have like, I want to have stuff that I feel comfortable in.
Yeah.
And that is like, I can wear it anytime, you know? Like I love cute outfits. I love fashion. And I like got that like green like 2-piece set and that cute dress and things like that. But it's like, those are things that you can wear like every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's not like a day-to-day outfit.
Yeah.
And I feel like I just want like this very simple, what do they call those? Like capsule wardrobe of like,
Never even heard of that.
I have like a few pairs of shorts, a few shirts, and maybe a dress.
Yeah.
And my swimsuit. And
well,
like,
you bring up like such a good point too of like clothing, because I feel like that too. And summer always brings like so much pressure on like clothes because like it's hot. You want to be comfortable. So how do you feel comfortable in your body by also like being comfortable in like the clothes that you're wearing? And like I just don't want to be sucked into this like feeling like I need to dress or look a certain way, because I always find it like if I'm trying to fit myself into something that is not me, I look and feel so awkward.
I got comfortable.
Uncomfortable. Yeah. And like everybody can feel it, everybody can see it. Whereas like if I am in something that I'm like owning and feel great about, it's like that confidence is like it just shines through, and then no one really even cares what you're wearing. So I think it's just like finding those, I don't know, things that like have like, it sounds so like silly, but like that good energy on you. Like if I'm trying something on and I'm like, this is not serving me, I'm not going to do it. I don't care how fucking cute you are or if you're on sale. Like the answer is going to be no.
Yeah. Yeah. If I'm not like in the dressing room and like, oh my gosh, I love this.
Yeah.
Which is like very rare, but that I'm like, this is so cute. I have to have it. A lot of the times I buy stuff, because it's on sale and I'm like, this is pretty cute.
Yeah.
It's like 50% off. I can get it. But it's also like, why do I need it.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you start to like get into this like spiral of like spending, and then you're like, you come home and you put it in your closet, and then you realize you have like 70 of the same fucking things and you're just like, what the fuck? So I think that's where that unbothered piece comes in, because I'm like, I'm literally unbothered. If it doesn't fit me, I'm not wearing it. If the nails are like, if I can't get a nail appointment, I don't care. Like I'm not gonna be worried about that, because that's not what I'm gonna make my summer be about.
Yeah.
And I think that in itself is gonna bring so much goodness.
I know you brought up nails a few times, and I just cannot wait. I'm like trying to see if these are like close to coming off. They did a really great job, because they're not budging.
Yeah,
they are like
really
a
cute,
permanent feature on my hand. And I had to have my friend who I was traveling with put on all my jewelry because I couldn't do it.
Like clasp it.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm like immobile. Like I can't do things, and I cannot wait. I'm not a nail girly. I have decided no nails.
I love nails. I wanted to touch on, so like not regardless, like besides appearance, like we just touched on like clothing and nails, and for me like waxing, especially with like just being so hairy and having yourself like out there in the summer, sometimes it does bring like a feeling of like being uncomfortable in my own skin, and but outside of that, this like unbothered summer that we are now, the energy that we're bringing into, what does that look like for you in terms of like hooking up? Because I think like I loved that aspect of last summer, because I just felt so like,
I love a good dance floor makeout.
Yeah.
I love a good like, doesn't even need to be like sex, because in all honesty, like I wasn't hooking up with like a ton of people.
Yes.
It was more of just like flirty, like fun, whatever.
So more so of like compared to last summer and like entering into this summer, like what are your, I don't want to say like goals, but like do you have things in mind?
Yeah. I was thinking about this on my walk this morning for this episode of like, what do I want my summer to look like?
Yeah.
And it's like that side of Erica I enjoy. Like I don't want to be like, I'm just going to become a nun and like read books and like, you know, like that's not necessarily what I'm manifesting for the summer.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of ties into what we were talking about with Lee of like taking care of yourself. And I feel like I've been doing that more. And so when I think of my summer, I want to be doing things that are still like taking care of me. And when I think of like when I'm my best self, it's when I have that balance of being like out in nature, or like having alone time, like reading my book, or like maybe like not staying out until 3 a.m, you know? And not that I never want to do those things, but it's like definitely more of a on occasion instead of every weekend. Like prioritizing hikes in the morning, so I'm that night before I'm not like getting shit-faced and not being able to do those, like keeping the promises or the things that I want to do with myself so that I feel better, and like making those plans with friends, because I do think a lot of the plans that are made are like house party, let's go to the beach and like drink and play volleyball, and like those things are all fun and they're all usually instigated by other people, and I just am like along for the ride. But like I can also be like, hey, do we want to do a hike Saturday morning, or like do we want to like, I don't know. I think when we went camping for my birthday weekend, which was like, yeah, we did that. We left on Friday. But like we did that in a weekend. Yeah. Like you can do so much in a weekend and like have a little like getaway, a weekend warrior like thing, if you will. Yeah. And then come back and like go throughout your week and feel rejuvenated. Exactly. Like sometimes I think in my mind, it's like I need like a week vacation, or like I need more time, when it's like if I plan it during the week, we can go do like a fun weekend camping trip or like something else. Because I feel like I want more of that in my summer. I didn't camp at all last year. Yeah. And that's the thing that like really is fun for me, and I feel like really good when I do that. Yeah.
I totally agree. So many thoughts. I think just compared to last summer, besides like the actual like partying that we did, we were going through so much. Like, yeah, you had just gotten out of a very serious relationship, but like we also moved. I moved to this area, completely new area. So there was a lot going on. So I think
I started a new job. You started a new job. Yeah. Like, it was like so much newness.
Yeah. Where it was like that partying was almost like a way to like relax, and it was much needed for the situation. But I feel now, like, since we are a little bit more settled in our area, not having this like unsure of where we're gonna go, where the fuck we're gonna live, where the dogs are gonna go, we have that figured out now, that I think a little bit more like relaxed, and to be able to make space and time and commitments with myself, and like being unbothered. Like, okay, everybody's going out Friday night, but I told myself I'm going camping. I got the camp spot. That's what I'm doing. And giving myself that, I think, is exactly what I need. I think you're right, though. It's not, I don't want to say like I don't want to do any of these things. Like, fuck yeah, I want to go get drunk and like be out at 3 a.m. Like, I want to go do these things, but I don't want to make it a priority, and I don't want it to feel like, I don't want to feel like that's where I'm like filling my cup. If that's what if that's what I'm saying. Like, I want my cup to be full when I go do these things so that I can enjoy. But then in order to fill that's not how I'm going to fill my cup. That's like the camping, the stuff. And also like, I don't know, doing things that I like in the summer that I don't normally do, and then make it not around like the drinking or the smoking. So like, I want to have beach days, but if I'm having a beach day, like, how can I incorporate the dogs? Could I do like a beach hike? Can we go somewhere that we've like never been before, instead of being like, hey, we're all going to the bay and drinking, let's do that every time. You know what I mean? Like, I want to switch it up a little bit. But I think that's true too. Is like, you're better at this than I am, but like, inviting people, it's not a secret, and it's not like we're the only ones that are feeling this way. So if we can be the ones, or if you could be the one that's like, I am planning this, I'm doing it this day, anybody that would like to come is willing to come. Bring more people into that as well. Yeah,
I do think the nice thing about living in a city, or especially like San Diego, is that like those things are happening every weekend. Those things as in like parties or like beach days or whatever. It's like, I don't feel like there's necessarily FOMO, because it's like, oh, dang, I'm missing this one. Well, you guys are just doing it again next weekend or whatever. Like, it's not like it's few and far between, especially in the summer. Yeah. Like, that's just what people do, and that's fun and fine. But it's like, yeah, you can say no and have other things, or like do something else over the weekend that's not that.
Yeah. Do you want to go on dates this weekend?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was your original question.
Yeah. And why did I say this weekend? I meant this summer.
I mean, sure. Yeah. I think, like, people are so much more outgoing in the summer and, like, bold. And I feel that way. Like, I feel more confident. I don't know. Sun's out. Confidence is out. Yeah. Something.
Whatever the saying is.
So I think that would be fun, but I would much prefer to, and everyone prefers this, but like to just have it like natural. And I need to be more bold myself in like in-person setting, which I feel like I was last year. Like I was like
same.
And I don't know, maybe
and now
it was
I feel like it's
summer.
Impossible.
Yeah, now I'm like much more like timid, but I do think that having gone on dates this year has helped, because it's like I have worked that muscle a little bit, and so I'm not like, I don't know, I'm not like so nervous to go on a date, because it's like every single date I've been on has not gone well.
Yeah.
Not that it's not gone well, but like there really hasn't been multiple dates with anyone.
Yeah.
So like, what does it matter if I like say, like reach out to someone and they like don't want to hang out, or like I'm like, hey, I don't know.
I know. I think too, like, I don't know, part of me is like, I've been so like, been like a hermit this whole summer. I mean, this whole winter, that I feel like I want to break free. Like, I just want to have fun, but I want to, like I said before, like I want to make sure that I'm doing things for me. I want to stay unbothered. But with that being said, like if I can show up with this unbothered attitude, like fuck yeah, I want to go on dates. Like I want to show up. I want to test the waters. I want to see. I also am just like, I know myself. And part of me is like, yeah, I do want to go on dates, but I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm like wanting to like what's the right word? Like, I don't want to fall in love. Like, I don't want to, I don't want to, like, I don't even want a situationship. Like, I don't want any of that because I have, like, a focus for the summer. It's, like, family, doing trips. Like, I want to do music festivals. Like, we have these things that we want to do. I know.
I forgot about that.
I think we have these things that we want to do, and I don't want, because and the reason why I say this is because it's happened in the past. Like, I know what I am. Like, I know what happens, what I am. I know what happens when a boy gets involved, and I'm, like, automatically, like, oh, you want to hang out? Like, I want to hang out. So I don't want that. That's more of like, Fall Ellie. Fall Ellie will do that.
I'm glad you said that because I agree. I don't think it's necessarily a focus. Like, honestly, if I don't go on a single date this summer, I will not be bothered.
Yeah.
I will not care because it's like all these other things in my mind that I want to do. And it's kind of like, I don't know if this was on the podcast or just our conversation afterwards with Lee, but like when you're doing the things that you love, generally you find other people that are doing those things too.
Yes.
And so it's like, rather than prioritizing like going out to the club or whatever to like find some random person to make out with.
Yeah.
It's like, let's go do the things that we love. And whether or not we find other people there or not, whatever, but we're doing the fun things that like bring us joy and fill our cup, as you say.
Exactly.
Sorry, keep going with your tangent.
No, that was my tangent. I just
okay.
I think that's where I'm at. Like, I'm not making it a priority. I mean, it would be fun to fuck around, not gonna lie. But also, like, I just don't want it. I feel like last summer, that was, like, my focus. I was, like, zoned in. And even now, like, I find myself, like, oh, I wonder if I should go back on the apps. Like, I wonder if I should do this. And then I feel pressured of, like, okay, well, if I do that, I need to get a wax. And if I go do this, and I need to get a new outfit. And I'm like, whoa. No, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I refuse.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that.
While we're on the topic of men.
Okay. Love it.
I think a recent thing, you've been really good about this, and I think I've come to be better about this, is like when we're going out, not going out with an intention of like finding someone necessarily, and more so going out.
You think I'm good at that? I'm not good at that. It is always in there.
Well, at least like when we come home, it's like that was a fun night. Like we went out and did something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like we've gone out to Little Italy, which if you're not from San Diego is like it's near where we live. It's more of like a uppity area. There's like really cute bars, really nice restaurants.
More like sophisticated than some of the other places that we go to.
Yeah. And I think we've gone out, at least in my mind, and like enjoyed that environment and like the experience of that rather than like necessarily looking around and or being disappointed if like nothing panned out with another like prospect.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Because more of like, hey, do you want to go like grab a drink? Let's go to this fun rooftop bar. And we went and chatted and like made
like
jokes.
2
and,
hours
yeah.
and then we're
And
like,
then
oh my
came
god, how many
home.
martinis do we have? It's time to leave now. Pizza, oh my god. No, that's so true. I think when you become unbothered, so many fucking doors open up. Like, and things that you are like, if you're unbothered about seeing guys or going out to get laid or do all of these things, like you're gonna want to go to a club or like a dance thing that you've never even been before because who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Or like, oh, it's a Friday night and typically this time we'd be going out to this place where it's like, oh, actually this like, I don't even know, like stuff that you again would not even have thought of, like more like comedy things, more like, I don't even know what else, like you just go through and see so many more opportunities that you're willing to do and like experiences that fill like, I don't even want to say fill your cup, but are just like fun.
It's
that
like
you wouldn't
something
have done.
you're interested in because you're doing it for you.
Even that are like things that you didn't even think. Like if it was something came up, I'm just trying to think of like some stupid example. I can't even think of one, but like something on a Friday night that's like you would never really typically do, but you know, a group is going or you saw it on like a, you know, the
Instagram.
Yeah,
or
something
whatever.
is going on. And even though like before you'd like, oh no, like I want to go out, I want to go drink, I want to go dance, but it's like this is complete turn. It's like, well, I'm going to go do this because I'm not interested in going to do that. And then who knows, you might like it. You get more experiences and stuff like that. It just opens so many more doors when you are just like, fuck it, don't care.
Do you think that, obviously I know your work schedule is like up in the air, but like with summer, do you think you'll do more things during the week or want to do more things during the week?
Yeah. I think like that was hard because like I enjoyed last summer just because I had the availability to do so many things like whenever I wanted. I don't know, we'll see. I'm trying to make it a priority, but again, like with this like unbothered attitude, it's just because I'm like bothered about my schedule. Like I'm like, oh, I have to fit in, like I have to make sure like I get enough sleep or my schedule. Like I'm just so like rigid with myself that I think once like unbothered summer Ellie comes through, it's gonna be like, yeah, I want to go do things. Like I don't want to just like waste my summer working or doing things that like I do all the time, like I've been doing.
Yeah. I do think like it's good to have rigidity or like boundaries with yourself so that you can like feel good the next day. But I agree of like the sun is out. The sun's out longer. Like there's things like when you get off of work, you still have time to like do things. And when the summer nights, like that temperature when it's like still so nice out and like the sun's setting at like 8:30 and you're like, I don't know, watching the sunset on the beach or like grabbing a drink with friends, and then you come home and it's only like 9:30 and
I think
that's
there are
great.
You bring up such a good point though, because I think there are things that I want to like work on in order to maintain this like summer, like things that I can like start to do or like what I want to do in order to do that, because I just think of like my life now and people I'm sure are going to be like, well, why can't you do that now? And I think it is like very much wrapped up in my own shit. Like all I can see is like the challenges and the hard like shit around me that like when it comes to scheduling my time, the last thing I want to do is like go out and I don't even mean like go out like to drink, but just like literally leave the house. Like right now I'm just like, all I want to do is be at home. And so I think like in order to like set myself up for success, like I really think in order to do that, because what ends up happening is like I will work throughout the week, like Monday through Friday. It's like I wake up, I feel like I need to go work out, and then I have to like build my lunch and I have to take care of the dogs and I have to like have all of these like packed for the day, and then when I come home I'm just like so exhausted because like work is so draining that all I want to do is like check out and watch TV. It's like I think there's been a little bit of a shift, especially with some like, I don't know, like personal career changes where I'm like, work is not everything. They will not die if I am not there. And I don't need to be so like, oh my God, you know, like upset over every little thing. Everything isn't a challenge. It's like a daily thing. And because what ends up happening is I get hooked on these little things that I am like mentally exhausted. And so when over summer, like obviously we're going to be working, I don't want to be in my mind about work. Like I don't want to do that. And in order to like go out and do these things because the sun is out so later, like to go to the beach or go do these things, whatever it is that we want to do, in order to do that, like I need to be unbothered when it comes to work too. Just like, it's done, it's over, set myself up for success so that I can have an enjoyable evening or morning, whatever. Like I literally, my hours are like, you know what I mean? Like they're just things, I have time to go do things. I just haven't made it a priority. So like having that kind of attitude. I also think TV needs to be like, I need to separate myself.
The lowest on the totem pole.
The lowest on the totem pole. And I love television. I love zoning out. But like what ends up happening is I just like forget I have a life and I miss out on things. And so, and I don't think I have that like clear balance of like, oh, well, I'll just only watch TV like once or twice a week or whatever. Like if I'm watching TV, I'm watching TV. And then I'm like, no, I want to do this tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And I don't want to do that over summer. So I think those are like my main things right now that I'm focused on so that I can do the things that I want to do. Because like I don't really do things during the week and I want to.
Yeah. I do think it's hard. Like we've talked about this before of when you're like driving home, especially when I'm in traffic, and then I get home and I'm just like, and I just lay on the couch. And then it's like an hour's passed and I'm like, oh, I should make dinner. And then I make dinner and then you get home. And then I'm like, do you want to watch a show? and then the night is over.
Yeah.
But whereas I feel like if you kind of like routine setting, but with plans of like, okay, Tuesdays we do the podcast, Mondays maybe we can like, and not that it needs to be the same every week, but like when I have something planned, I will make it work. Like I will adjust my schedule or like make sure that I have things prepared so that I can go, so that it's not stressful. And I think the last minute stuff is fine, but like it's fun when you have things during the week, fun like things planned. And I know for myself too, like I've missed like learning something. Like I feel like I'm not like, using my brain necessarily.
Yeah.
And so I think another thing I would love to do, which is a little bit tricky when you're traveling or like there's a lot going on in the summer, but like having a class or like even if it's something like online to like learn more. Specifically, I am going to, I'm saying this, am going to get my national spin instructor certification because we've talked about this multiple times and that was something that I enjoyed doing so much. And if I can like get that accreditation and maybe this fall, like I teach a class or two a week just for fun, like that is an outlet for me that I think I would really enjoy. It's not for the money. It's not for like that's going to be my career, but it's like I love like making the playlist. I would like to learn more about like the human body and the anatomy and like that's kind of what that accreditation is. I mean, there's also like maybe I want to take a ceramics class, but just like thinking of classes or like ways that I can learn something instead of being like only doing the things that I'm good at,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Because I think I've been doing those things or I'm like comfortable. It's in that I'm in the comfortable zone.
Right, yeah.
And I'm not really
where we need to be in the other ones.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I totally agree. That seems to be the theme that's going on because shout out to my sister. She has worked with horses since I can remember. And she's been recently like really shifting her focus into going back to school and getting her degree and doing all of these things. But she has this like she's a mom. She's juggling so many things. And she's made time to go back and do her like, we call it her like horse job. So she's like, I just did my horse job this morning. Every Saturday morning she gets up early and goes and does that, works with like the same lady that she's worked with for a while, and she's like calling me at 8:30 and it's like, yeah, I just like got done with my trail walk this morning, and I'm like, oh my god, like I love that. So having that, like I would love to do something like that or like take an art class or do something that's a little different, and this is the time to do it because you have the energy, you have the time, the sun isn't going down at 3:00 in the evening or afternoon, like this is the time to be doing those things. Plus, it just brings out like such the best part of me, honestly.
Yeah, when I think about college, not that I necessarily want to go back to college, but like I thrived in that setting of like having something that's challenging my brain, having maybe like a mindless job, but just like, a job where I like feel comfortable having activities with friends. Like there was so much going on. And now I have a full-time job, and I think sometimes I let that kind of what you're talking about, like run my energy. And like, because that's where most of my day goes, depending on how that day goes, sets the tone for the rest of the day. Whereas like if I have other things planned or like that's just a piece of my day,
Yeah.
Instead of like that is my main day, my main chunk of my day.
Yeah. Well, I think it just circles back to accomplishments. Like that's looking at this like list that I've made myself and like obviously trying to stay positive while I look at it. I'm like, I have accomplished so much in the span of my lifetime, and like we're only 27. I know we've joked about this, like, oh my god, what else? And let's like honestly, like we've done so much. I don't want to stop. I don't want to get into a rut. We're constantly talking about how like we don't want to do this, like, I mean, we've just been different. I feel like I've been different my whole life. Like, why am I going to stop now? Because I have, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I ever have. I just think like sometimes in the winter you find yourself like in a rut or like thinking of all of these things. You said that word. I'm not even going to try to say it again. Crisis. But you're just like thinking of like all of these like turns that you've done, and so like reflection, but sometimes can like lead to, at least for me, like down like a dark path. Whereas now I'm like, I want to accomplish things. So like, what is it that I want to accomplish? And even setting myself like a goal of like what sounds good and what doesn't. Like literally it may be such a small thing, like taking a ceramics class. Like people do that all the time, but for you it's like that is a thing that if I were to write down on my list would like feel so good and like bring a smile and like good energy and like feel better about yourself. And then I don't know, also something with like being in the summer and working with your hands.
Yes.
And like just do, like when you were saying that, like just envisioning in my mind of like volunteer work, like gardening or like going out on a hike or doing like there's just something about like getting dirty like that over the summer. It's just like, I don't know, it's so rewarding.
Satisfying.
Yeah, so satisfying.
Yeah.
It really is.
No, I'm like getting excited thinking about that, because it's like, yeah, when you're like in, I don't know, like grounded in like using your body, using your, like, we have this ability to be able to do these things. And why are we, at least for myself, like, why am I sitting at a desk all day and then coming home and laying and then being like, I'm exhausted? And then it's like, I really haven't used my ability to like better myself, better the world around me. And I feel like I have that energy and I can do that. It's just a matter of like making that a priority. And going back to the podcast I was listening to, I think I was getting overwhelmed because it felt like a lot of like, I want to journal more. I want to like have my hair done like every day. I want to do this more. I want to do that more. And it's like, I think what we're talking about is doing like more things, but more things that are like bettering our mind and our like spirit, or whatever you want to say, like our energy, instead of outward like appearance and like checking things off of like, now I need to add like 20 more things to my routine.
Like, I don't need it.
I don't need it. I want to simplify that part of my life. Like, that's what I was trying to get to with the clothes thing, and like that I don't want that to take up so much of my energy. I'd rather have that be used for like cultivating good, or like using my hands to build something, to make something.
I agree.
Like, then get to the end of summer and being like, wow,
look at what I did.
Yeah.
Like, I made this. I did this. I love that.
Love it.
As thoughts go, when people talk, I have them. So my thoughts are no. But in all seriousness, like when you were saying that, I'm thinking of like, we've been like, an ongoing conversation is like the cycle of our body, right? And how beautiful like women's health is. And like we've spent so much time of like loving ourselves in the way that it changes in cycles. Well, literally being a little bit more, I don't know, deep with it is like, if you think of the seasons, summer with the sun being out is the time of like, since the beginning of time, because of the way that the sun, all, you know, science and shit, it's the time to do all of this stuff, to like really fill yourself with all of these things, like build stuff and garden and go on hikes and enjoy it and like get that vitamin D and do all of these things so that you feel like you can rest when it's wintertime.
Yeah.
And I am saying that because I think there was so much unrest during this wintertime is because I felt like I haven't been filling my cup that way. I haven't been like allowing myself to feel these like, I don't know, it sounds silly, but like do things that like literally my body needs to be doing. And like it's just like full circle, going back to the earth, like working with animals, working in the dirt, going and seeing something like within nature. Like I was not in nature at all this summer, and I do think like that contributed to this unrest feeling over winters. The dogs are blocked in by the cord, and it's been like such a problem this whole day. But I think like, you know, I want to set myself up for success, and I recognize that winters are hard because of like the lack of sun and because of like the lack of ability to do things and like outside, or you know, just drained all the time. And so to help that, I think having this kind of like unbothered and doing whatever the fuck we want because we want to do it, and feeling more accomplished in the summer will help me feel less, or like will help me be more at rest during winter.
Yeah.
And also like save money. We do not need to buy 10 shots every time we go out. We do know. I'm just kidding. I did
that one time.
I know. But it's just like, you know, it's just, I mean, it's silly. And I think last summer is exactly what we needed. And I think this summer will be exactly what we need for this space.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Me too. I think it's going to be really good.
And I like that, you know, this is going to be fun to, like, we, you know, last summer we're just like talking about the podcast, but now we have it and we get to do it while summer is happening. I'm like, oh my God, get ready.
No, I love how much we've accomplished this winter. I think we've felt, I don't want to speak for both of us, like I felt a little bit restless. I felt a little bit like aimless, like what am I doing? I don't understand, like, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. But I do think we've accomplished a lot in that unsettledness.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been reading that book that you got me, the 101 essays
yeah.
to change the way you think, which is really good. And a lot of the, like, not a lot of it, one chapter was talking about how, like, that feeling is how you know you're, like a big change, like a big, like a good thing is coming.
Yeah.
It's like when you don't feel that feeling, when you're just like in the day to day and like my life's great and everything's fine, it's like you're not changing, you're not evolving. When you're feeling unsettled, when you're feeling uneasy or uncomfortable and like you need to do something, it's like that's when you know it's a good thing. Like change is coming and something good is happening.
Yeah.
In your life.
I think it'll be an opportunity for me to shift my focus, because when I feel those kind of feelings like I have been feeling, I want to drop everything and move. Like I'm ready to, okay, next, done with this, moving forward. Which is fine, which is great. And I think it needs to happen. I don't think I need to do it like every single year.
Yeah.
I don't think that's healthy or will make me feel any better. So just challenge myself to do, like, switch up my schedule, do something different so that I am feeling better, like there is a change, but not a huge change where I need to pick up my entire life and start, because like, yeah, that's fun, but then it's like stress of like jobs and houses and belongings. It's like I don't need all of that right now. I just need something different. I need a little bit of a change, and those changes are they can happen. Like there's so many opportunities, especially here in San Diego, to do so many different things that I just need to look at it and do it.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Just do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Holding ourselves accountable, we will get this done.
We're gonna have
fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have a fun, unbothered summer, doing what we want.
Yeah.
And not giving any
fucks. I'll say it for you. Not giving a single fuck.
And we hope you guys do too, because it's a week away.
Yeah.
From summer. Go follow us. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube, please do. We have goals for ourselves, and we would love, even if you don't like get on YouTube, just like give us that number.
Yeah.
Please,
we would appreciate
help
it.
us grow.
Yeah.
And leave us a 5-star review.
Yes.
And have a great day.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.